Good afternoon. It's Sunday, October 12th, 2025. I'm Hewie Poplock, and this is the Central Florida Computer Society and the Sarasota Technology User Group's WinSIG or Windows Special Interest Group. We do this the second Sunday of every month, and we're glad you're either here or watching it on YouTube. We're at it again. We've been doing it for 25, 30 years now. Not always on Zoom, but we've been doing it through a lot of versions of Windows. And between Mike Ungerman and myself, we go back. We used to have a DOS SIG too. So we been doing this a long time. And I am so glad you're here today. And so I'll stop sharing and say good afternoon to everybody again. I'm looking over everybody that's here. I see a lot of familiar names and faces have been with us a long time. Many of you are members of either STUG or CFCS. STUG is in Sarasota, and I am vice president of STUG, and the Central Florida Computer Society will meet directly after this meeting on this same call. So we stopped the recording and started up again. So we have two separate recordings. And Mike Ungerman, and if he makes it, Drew King will be heading that. I have to scoot out at the end of the WinSIG because we've got some kind of a shindig at our rec hall today that I want to go to. So. All right. So things are progressing. It's not just AI anymore. It is Windows still around, and Windows is still lots to talk about Windows. And the way we do it is let's go ahead and bring it up, and then we go to the WinSIG. And I post all of the items we're going to cover today. These are all links. In the newsletter that I send out, they aren't linked, because the newsletter goes out to people and that may not be part of the show, and I would rather you come to the website to get those. So they're all the links are there. So if we don't get to all of them, or you want to go back to any of them, you can do it very easily. Also, here's last month's items, and then at the end of that is the recording from last month. So you can do that for each month. And so you can watch any of the recordings from previous months as well. The YouTube videos that I am doing now, I have moved, but it doesn't matter if you go to the Hewie.net website in WinSIG to see them, because it links to them wherever they are. But if you go to YouTube to watch the videos, they used to be on the CFCS channel, and I have moved them to the Hewie P, or my personal YouTube channel, to make it easier for me and for more to expose it to more people. So, and I see I left an R out under items for October 12th. Okay, let's get started. First one is Windows 11 removes all bypass methods for Microsoft account setup, removing local accounts. They don't want you to do local accounts. So now they've made it so it's almost impossible, but not totally. So let's open up that article. And now if I hit, let's see, I'm going to move this out of the way. You don't see it, but I do. And so I will F9. Thank you, Dick. And here is the article in much larger print. Windows 11 removes all bypass methods for Microsoft account setup, removing local accounts. Recent updates in the Insider Preview build is tightening restrictions on Windows 11 setup, and it's blocking remaining methods to bypass the account requirements. Now, if you don't know what the local account and a Microsoft account is, normally you have a Microsoft account. You sign into that, Microsoft says, okay, yeah, you got an account, and then whatever you have signed up with Microsoft, you have access to. If you're a 365 user, you're connected. If you use OneDrive, OneDrive is connected. And so what people are doing is trying to bypass all of that, number one, so they don't need a password, which is a mistake, and they aren't connecting directly to Microsoft, so they don't have OneDrive. Well, there's ways to turn OneDrive off, so that's a different item altogether. But if you've been doing that, you may find it harder and harder to sign in, especially if you've been on Windows 10 and you had a local account and you switch over to Windows 11, you may have difficulty and you may have to set it up so you're using your Microsoft account. And let's see the next article. Close that. I tuned the text in Windows 11 to be much clearer. I didn't, but the writer of this article did. And F9 says, occasionally I'll get on a PC where the text just doesn't look right. It either looks too faint or it's a little blurry, which puts unnecessary strain on my eyes. The too faint is very common for me. And so here's why this person tunes the text now to avoid that happening. Tuning the text in Windows is very easy and can be done with a simple tool called CT Tune, ClearType Text Tuner, already built into your Windows computer. It works with a technology called ClearType, which is a software method that improves the clarity of text on displays. ClearType works by using subpixel rendering, which smooths the edge of fonts and makes them appear sharper and less pixelated. So here's what you do. You go in the Windows search and you type in CTune and press enter. The tool will start running. And first it'll give you an option to turn on ClearType if it's not turned on. And you just click and then click next. At the next window, CTune will check that your display is at its native resolution. And then in the next couple of windows, you'll be shown different blocks of text, and you select which one appears to be the clearest. It'll look like something like this. You choose which one you want to use, and that's the one you'll get. And that's all there is to it. So let's minimize this and type in CTTUNE. And there it is. It's in the run command. Turn on ClearType, and it's checked. And I'll say next. And I have two monitors, so it decides which monitor do I want it on. The one we're on right now is, I believe it's this one. We'll find out, won't we? Next. And next. And there we go. Now I got a sample and I can click the next. It's the best for one of 5. I'm going to look at it here, and they look about the same to me, but I think this one is a little bit better. And I'll go there, and then it gives you some more, and it continues through, and you set it up, and it will then change your setting to that. So it's a good way to, let's go ahead and cancel. It's a good way to check and get the clearest that you can get with your system. And with that, let's go ahead and stop the share for a minute. Any comments? Jolyn, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I had a question about, let me go to, or I need to be, on the bypass method. I'm surprised that they're doing that. I have always set up an admin account on a Windows machine. Years back, I was taking care of my dad. I gave him a local account, which actually saved us because he got one of those noisy, scary thingies that pop up. And I was napping. He didn't want to disturb me, so he called the number. He couldn't get into the machine because I had the admin password. He only had his local account password. So I'm surprised. I understand the need. You can't use Apple without an Apple ID. You can't use Google without a Gmail address and a Google ID. So I understand that, but there's still the ability and the advantage of a local account is still good. So I'm not sure if they're taking it entirely away or just you have to at least sign up.
Well, as a non-admin, he could still have a Microsoft account and sign into the Microsoft account. He's just going to have different access than you have.
Well, no, he did not have
No,
access.
no, but I'm saying you could do it that way. So having a Microsoft account, in his case, could be done without a problem.
Yeah, but then they would have gotten in and, well, no, he still would have needed the
No, they
admin
couldn't.
card.
He still doesn't have access to the kind of things that you have stopped him from having access to.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it's, I mean, I'm hoping that we can still do local because there are certain times when I like having just a local account and doesn't have
Yeah.
all the connections. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
All right, Mike, I'm surprised to hear from you on this.
So I understand what Joyland's asking for. So we all know that in our communities, plural, there's lots of gurus out there, many of them on YouTube, some followed more than not, some with amazing minds, but not too many followers, and some with amazing minds with hundreds of thousands of followers. But the point is, as soon as Microsoft does something to prevent you from doing something, these guys go to work and they come up with code and methods and workarounds and you name it. Most of these, which I follow, I wind up posting on our Discord BBS and occasionally sharing with Hewie and with Ron, just to let them know what's going on in the community. So specifically, in order to to install either Windows 10 or 11 without having to have a Microsoft account, has already been done. And as soon as Microsoft announced what they weren't going to allow, within 2 days, these gurus went to work and they've already posted things. Now, the question is, do you want to take the chance and try something like that out? And my only comment on that is, be sure you got a good backup of a working system before you even think about doing it, because all kinds of things can go wrong. And it's spy counter spy. You know, Microsoft, if they've already cut off certain ways of doing the normal sign-in procedures, they're going to do it again. You know, they're going to keep working at it. And of course, the counter spies are going to be working at it too. So just
Yeah,
saying, it's out there. It can be
yeah,
done.
oh yeah. It's just like the bad guys.
Yeah.
Uh, they find ways to get around anything that Microsoft or Apple or
Oh, of course.
any person who writes something that they can get around it. And also, if you recall over the years, Norton used to have workarounds that you could go and do things that Microsoft wouldn't, and everyone would say, "Oh, this is a program that Microsoft forgot to put in the operating system or didn't put in." And then when it's put in, somebody will write a program to take it out, so you don't have to use it. So
This is
yeah,
also good because we set up a lot of new machines at the club at the resource center. People bring in their old machines, we do the transfer. I try to tell everybody, yeah, it's important to have the account because you can't, it's part of the nature of what we're doing these days.
So
But it is nice to have, it's nice to have the option to have a local account and the admin account. So
stick around for the CFCS main meeting,
you got it.
and we're going to talk about Rufus. And then that's all I'm going to say. If you want to know what Rufus is, stick around. You'll find a way to do some of the things you want to do.
Stephanie, you have your hand up.
When I had my
They followed it up today with another nice performance this morning.
Yeah,
Will
somebody's
somebody
got their.
pop in,
I mute.
please?
I just muted them. Go ahead.
Thank you. When I got my Win 11 update years ago, we set it up with one admin account and one local account. Are those local accounts going to be no good anymore, or what's that exactly?
Somebody want to answer that for her, or should I?
Well, the existing local accounts will probably continue to, at some point, when you want to get an automatic update or a feature update, then they may say you need to log into your account to get it. And especially if you want to keep Windows 10 going and you want to get their essential security updates, we'll talk a little bit about that later today too. But the point is, you still have got to have a Microsoft account in order to get those essential security updates. So you even if you've got a local account and you decide you want to get the security updates, you're going to have to log in. It's going to recognize you're there. You get your security updates one way or the other, and then you could theoretically log out and go back to the local account.
But my automatic thing should work as long as I've been a Win11 and it has an admin account that is
Yes.
a regular thing that should work for a while.
Yes.
Thank you.
Steve Parker, your hand is up.
Yeah, if you've got the ESU enrollment on your system and another computer that's on your network doesn't have it yet, can you transfer one of the licenses to that other machine? And how do you do it?
I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but I think so. The key will be not so much transfer as Microsoft recognizes that it's on the same account.
Yeah, what I was thinking of doing was to create my admin Microsoft account on their machine, and then it would see me logged in on the other machine, right? And then
It should.
update the
We all
ESU
have
with
to, when's the 14th? It's 3 days, right? 2 days. So we'll all see what happens with these ESUs when the first ones roll out.
Yeah.
I've taken a machine, I've gone through the process, put ESUs on it, and so it says you're there, and then you can log out of the machine and just do whatever you want to do. But if you want to log back in and get your ESU, you're going to have to log back in to get it. In my opinion.
Walter, your hand is up. You're muted.
I was listening to Windows Weekly. I can't remember if it was this week's episode or last week's. And Paul Thurrott said that once you log in with your Microsoft account, you can create a separate account without a login and delete your Microsoft account from the PC. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but I guess if you didn't need all the other stuff, it would be handy.
A lot of people don't realize, and maybe we're going over the heads of some that are here today, but back in the day, one used to create Windows and you had an account where the login was admin, and then it had an admin password, or you had no password, as the case may be. And then if you wanted an account for your wife, then you'd have your wife's name, and that would be a local user and didn't have to have a Microsoft account. And then maybe one for your son or daughter, and you could put parental controls on it. Lots of different things that you can do. So any Windows installation can have more than one account on it. And it makes sense to have an admin account that has the Microsoft account for updates. And then if you wish to have separate accounts and controls on them for other people, whether they're students, whether they're in a user group and you've got a bunch of computers, that are used for training, makes a lot of sense to have non-admin accounts that just run programs and maybe browse the internet or things like that.
Are you going to cover why the difference between an admin account and a regular account when you talk later this afternoon?
We certainly can. It's open forum.
Okay. All right. Somebody, let's see, who was it? Bob Francis said from Microsoft support, you should limit the number of administrators on your Windows device because the administrators have complete control of the system. And so don't have a lot of administrators and don't make everybody an administrator. Stephen Hall.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with the Microsoft Authenticator. I tried to log in after they update something, and I go to the Authenticator, and they say, we'll send you a number, usually a 5-digit number. But then there's no place to put it. The number comes in. What the heck do I do then? So I'm not sure if I don't have the authenticator set up right or what, but maybe Mike will answer that later on. I'm not
I've
sure
had
what
the same
so what I end
problem.
up doing is using my password. Eventually it allows me to use my password and I get in that way. But the authenticator thing just doesn't work.
Um,
I've had the same issue.
oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I use a Google Authenticator at the moment. I used to have a Microsoft Authenticator, but I don't anymore.
I have no clue what authenticates, but when it pops up, it says, "What's your PIN?" And I type in the PIN, and my name and password come up, and I click it, and it puts it in, and I don't care where it is. And sometimes then they want to send, on top of that, they want to send me a code that I have to put in. So, boy, they got you covered pretty good these days. So I'm not as concerned about it. And Mike, you wrote an email, and I got to go back and find it because I really want to take that article and talk about it. I think you either just wrote about or you used somebody else's article about the fact that if you have a password manager on your computer, if when you start your computer and you open that password manager and leave it open so you can find the passwords throughout the day, there's no sense in having a password manager or passwords.
Yeah.
If somebody can break into your computer while you've got your password manager open, then they're going to see all your passwords. That's correct.
Yep, yeah, and I used to say that Mike knows my former business partner who's passed away, but I used to have to go and do some things on his personal computer for him, and as soon as I turned it on, he didn't have a password for his computer, and as soon as it started up, it opened up. I can't remember. I can't remember which one of the password managers he had, but there it was, and all his passwords were there, and it was open at all times. So, to do that, it makes no sense. So I have mine timeout. I think at 10 minutes. And once I've opened it up and done some things in it, if I don't need that password manager, it doesn't shut off, or it doesn't close, but it shuts off, and I have to type in my password again to get to it. And I think that's safe. Ron, you have your hand waving.
I just want to just talk a little bit about Microsoft Authenticator. For those of you who are using Microsoft Authenticator, we talked about this on the show. In August this year, it changed a lot. There was a lot of changes that occurred in Microsoft, and they do not do password management or autofill features anymore, and has a very limited function for the Authenticator part of that. And so some of the things that you may be finding that are problems now, if you're using Microsoft Authenticator, is just that it's changed, and there's big changes that occurred. And my sort of feeling is they probably want to get rid of the app and they're not into this. I would recommend changing to Authy or use Google or going to one of the other authenticators. I think it'll be a lot better off for you because they really made the big change in August of this year.
And I think Jolyn wrote something about it as well in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
It went to Windows. Windows Defender has been introduced. It works on your computer, on the Windows PC. I also use it on my phone and on my tablet. It's a terrific. I'm still doing the research on it and playing with it and working it, and I'm working on the articles for our Computer Club newsletter. I will share it when I get them done.
Okay, great. All right, back to articles. And where to go? Should be here. And we can close that one out. And we're down to the third article. Windows 11 25H2, should you upgrade? And then 25H2 has only just been released, and it's already causing issues. So you might want to read those articles because you may not want to do it. I did, and I haven't had any problems, at least none that I've noticed. And so what is the 25H2? It's their yearly update. And they really didn't make a lot of changes in it. And they're going to make changes throughout the year. So it's not a big deal if you didn't do it, if you're not doing it. But so what's new? And it talks about it. features page list, and let's just go ahead and let's see. I can do it this way. Does this work? Yeah, there it is. What's new in Windows? So you got a nice article you can read with all the features. We probably ought to cover that. Gosh, that's one WinSIG itself, and not all of you are on Windows 11. So, but if you want to find out what's new in Windows 11, that would be the page to go look at. And you should know how to recover your Windows account, do you? And F9. Have you ever thought about what you'd do if you ever forgot or lost your Windows password? That is, besides cursing fate. In the old days, you could usually get back into the PC using other methods. The process could be time consuming, but it usually worked. But now you could end up stuck. Why? Because most people use a Microsoft account to log into Windows, as we've been talking about. You can't circumvent this login method in the same way as years past. Your login credentials are managed online for starters. Also, Windows automatically encrypts your data via device encryption for home users and through BitLocker for pro users. The only time Windows won't auto-encrypt your data is if your PC is not compatible, but your password still will be out of reach. Ultimately, you'll lose your documents, photos, videos, and other data you saved on your PC and in the cloud if you're not prepared. Fortunately, you can avoid getting locked out with just a few minutes of prep work. This is what you should do before you can't get in. Set up other ways to access your Microsoft account, and it tells you what you can do there. Adding multiple verification methods to your Microsoft account gives you options if you forget your password or lose your phone. In addition to a password, you can choose have a code emailed or text to you, have an app to approve sign-ins, or create a passkey. For most people, this author usually recommends setting up both the email and text options as a minimum. If you have two-factor authentication active, you must have both. Most of the time, text messages will be the easiest method to get back into your account, but if you lose your phone, then email codes should still be available to you, assuming you can still access that account without your phone. That is, have the password stored or memorized separately. So save your Microsoft account recovery info, and it's got some information on how to find it. You can use this code to access your account if you lose access to your sign-in info. Print this out and keep it in a safe place or take a picture of it. And you can generate a new code. So you can get a recovery code. And let's see, does it tell you how to get to it? Let's see, you can sign out everywhere, reset the Windows Hello on all of my Windows devices, and learn about removing your password and learn more about two-step verification. There's a lot of things to learn more about. And then it says if you've already set up a recovery code, you won't be able to view it again. So you'll have to generate a new one if you don't have the existing one saved. Any new code generated will make previous ones invalid. And to save it, this tells you how to do it. What about two-factor authentication backup codes? Many services allow you to download a set of backup codes designed for one-time use in case you lose your primary method for two-factor authentication. Microsoft does not. I suggest setting up a passkey on a different device or on a security hardware key. You won't need to input a 2FA code when you're using a passkey. So the tighter we make this stuff so people can't break in, it makes it harder for us to get in. Okay, 11 things I love and hate about Windows 11 after using Windows 10. So this might be a good article if you've switched over to take a look at. Windows Explorer is different. There are some different things about it. The settings menu, the Windows screen recorder, OCR, optical character recognition, get Windows 11 Pro for cheap. That's an ad, I think. Windows 11 Pro. Let's see. The apps, the speed. Okay, here's the gist of it. The apps, the speed, Windows security, things you'll hate. Of course, there are things that have become worse too. This also becomes clear during his test. Fortunately, PC World has guides available that fix our worst Windows 11 gripes. And this is where Copilot and Gemini and ChatGPT come in. When you can't do something, you go to them and say, "How do I do it?" And it will spell it out. 9 out of 10 times, maybe less, maybe more, it'll be correct. Sometimes it leaves steps out. Sometimes it'll be on a different version than you're on. But for the most part, I have found it to be very helpful in doing almost anything that I can't remember how to do or I don't know how to do. And with that, I am going to stop share. And I'm just wondering, are many of you using AI to answer those kind of questions that you might ask here? I don't want you to go away, but a lot of times during the month, if you've got a question and we're not around, you can get it answered for. Comments?
These
Yeah,
days,
I just use
I-
Google, actually. It seems to work for me, but yeah, I would go to AI next.
Yeah, I replaced Google with Perplexity long, long time ago. It does a much better job. In fact, I programmed it into the address bar in the browser so that I don't even have to go anywhere. Just bring up the browser, type in my question, and it goes automatically and answers it with Perplexity.
When I open my browser, the Google browser, Chrome, I automatically open up Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, and then of course Copilot's always available. And let me just show you something here that I really like, and that's let me share my screen again. Go ahead and open it. And I want to open up Chrome. So let me go to one of those pages that I just was on, or I can pick any page. Lord knows what I'm going to see here. So we better just go to it. But let's see. Let's just go to Miko and take an article, GTV list. Okay, so we're on it. We got an article here. This is a newsletter, but let's find an article in here just for the heck of it. And let's just is this an article? No, this is the whole article is here. Top tech news. Okay, let's just take this, a Microsoft article. Okay, what you can do if you have it and they've rolled it out, I noticed this past week, is way up here in Chrome. It's and if you move your mouse next to it, it says Open Gemini in Chrome. So if I open that, I can just say summarize this page. And there it is. I mean, you can't get easier to get these things answered, or a question if you want, or something about it. You just click that little link in Chrome. So if you didn't know that that was there, check and see if you've got it.
Yeah, it's in Gmail as well.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really handy. Okay, so we're here, and that's the end of that article. And go to Microsoft launches 365 Premium for consumers, retires Copilot Pro. I I hesitate in putting these kind of articles up because they've made it so confusing. Microsoft has made it so confusing. What's 365? What's Premium? What's Pro? What do you pay for? What don't you pay for? Their naming schemes are just horrible. Everything's now Microsoft 365 and Copilot 365, which are different, and so on. So, why don't they just make it easy for us? I have no clue. They must. I think they're related to the grocery store people who like to once a month move everything around so we can't find it.
And they'll have to change the name every 4 years as well to
Oh yeah, yeah.
bond with leap years.
Okay, so anyway, if you want to try to understand what Microsoft 365 and the changes they made in it, read that article. And then Microsoft 365 puts Copilot inside the apps. And I think that's what somebody mentioned now. Like in Word, your Copilot's in Word. So that's why somebody asked me earlier, do I use Copilot? That's how I use it a lot of times because it's right there. But I may not rely on it. I may take that same information and try to find out what ChatGPT thinks of it, or Claude or Perplexity. What is Microsoft Copilot? A complete guide to AI productivity. Let's take a look at that. Okay, we'll go here and disable something. I think continue without supporting us. There we go. Okay, and let me F9. And I'm probably, why am I not getting it? There we go. Microsoft Copilot AI Beginner's Guide, automated tasks in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and more. Oh, here is a complete guide, and it gives you an overview. TLDR, do you know what that stands for?
Too long did not read.
That's correct. Too long didn't read. And so if it's a really long article and they got a TDLR, that means this is kind of like a summary. Microsoft Copilot is a generative AI tool integrated into Microsoft 365, designed to enhance productivity through features like document summarization, data analysis, and workflow automation. It's available in 3 versions: a free personal version, a free Microsoft 365 Copilot chat version for small teams, and a paid Microsoft 365 Copilot version with advanced tools for businesses. Free Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat offers essential features such as content summarization, data analysis, and presentation preparation, making it ideal for basic tasks. The paid version includes advanced capabilities like Microsoft Graph integration, customizable AI agents, and complex document actions, catering to professionals and enterprises with demanding needs. Microsoft Copilot is versatile, supporting use cases like financial reporting, sales analysis, which most of us aren't concerned with, email management, maybe, and meeting automation, which a lot of us are called on to be the secretary and take minutes for a meeting or something. So a lot of things that AI can help you with that. And then helping users save time and focus on strategic priorities. And then exploring versions of Microsoft Copilot. So if you want to understand all of Copilot and the differences, this article it's a long one, but it's It's got a lot of really good information in it. So that's one that I've got in my Evernote. And okay, Guide to Mastering Microsoft OneDrive for Beginners. Whoa, I think we all need to read this.
And haven't they, or aren't they making changes to OneDrive and the way the folder structure works?
I'm sorry, say that again, John.
Aren't they making changes to OneDrive and changing the way the folder structure works, or there's something going on with OneDrive that's being updated.
Oh, wonderful. No, I didn't see that, but
Yeah, so I
doesn't
don't
mean
know.
that they're doing it. So. Okay, anyway, this is from Kevin Stratford, which
Excellent.
some of you may have watched some of his videos, which are very good, and his
Mhm.
tutorials. But anyway, again, too long, didn't read some takeaways from it. And then it goes into a fairly large article. And I'll just how to get started with OneDrive, how to use it, efficient file management with OneDrive, collaboration and sharing features, offline access and advanced syncing, enhanced security, and so on. So a lot of you are in user groups and your members are confused and don't know what OneDrive is and want to know and you want to explain it and you don't know everything about it. There's a good article to really help you. And let's go ahead and I am going to come back and get out of F9. So I have the actual thing here. Oh, I know.
Complete with adverts, yeah.
Yeah, let me go ahead and copy the address. And then I am going to I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to bring up ChatGPT and I'm going to tell it to, let's see, I'm going to upload that. I don't need to upload the link. I'll just add it. So I'm going to say, um, give
You missed the second A in presentation.
Yeah. We'll just right mouse click and click it. And then I'm going to say, oh, this article, colon, and then put the address in, Control V. And go ahead and tell it. There's all the slides.
Incredible.
And if you like, I can generate a ready to download PowerPoint file for you. Okay. Probably going to ask, do I want, oh, there it is right there. So I click this, it downloads it. I open up the download, click it. And there is my PowerPoint on that article.
Awesome.
Isn't that amazing? So I'll leave that available and let's go ahead and stop the share and see what comments you have. Jolyn.
Well, with regards to creation of slideshows, I have used AI and Copilot in PowerPoint, and it's amazing what it has helped me save time, etc. The other thing I wanted to talk about real quick was, oh shoot, now I forgot what we were talking about before. Anyway, the using AI, I use Perplexity almost exclusively, but I always go and kind of double check with Claude and Copilot and and Gemini. I've also added Perplexity to my phone, so I have access to it there. It sends really interesting news articles daily. I also have used in Chrome, and I think you can do this in Edge as well. But if I go to Cast, I can actually save the app or save the website for Perplexity as a PWA, and it's pinned to my taskbar, and I don't even have to open a browser to go to Perplexity. I have one click and I'm in. And I really, really enjoy that. I really enjoy being able to add PWA apps to my taskbar. It's been a treat. So thank you.
Yeah, I just did that with Galaxy AI, and I've got it now on my taskbar. Elva?
Yeah, I was hoping that somebody might talk about the Comet browser. If anyone's using that, isn't that a Perplexity tool?
I have got it. I don't use it just because I'm so ingrained in Chrome. I just haven't had the time to sit down and really take advantage of it. But
Me too.
I have
Me
it.
too.
I'll
I
let you know.
downloaded it. It's on my taskbar, but I haven't used it. I don't know what the benefit is really, but it's a Perplexity tool, so.
Yeah.
There's just there's just so many ways
Too
to
much.
do things. Yeah.
Right.
That's what you need
I-
AI for, yeah, to figure out
Yeah.
all the AI stuff.
I got side tracked here. Bob asked in chat, can he upgrade his email address with me? All right, I get that kind of question a lot, so I would like to address that, if you'll pardon the play on words. First of all, I have a lot of places that I have people's email addresses. So I don't know which one that you want changed. Number two, generally, most of the time, you can change it yourself. It depends upon what it is. If it's a newsletter, generally it'll say if nothing else, you can unsubscribe and resubscribe with a new address. I can't go in and make those kind of changes for you in a lot of these subscriptions. You've got to do it yourself. And so, Bob, I can probably do that,
Well,
but I don't know where to do it. And it's a lot easier if you do it because you know which one you're talking about. You know which address you want to eliminate, or it may not even be there. I have people ask me to change their address sometimes, and I don't even have their address, or I don't have the right one, and they haven't given me what the wrong one is, so I don't know where what to delete. So just to let you know, and everybody else, not so much you, but others, that please do it yourself.
I'm not sure how to do it, Huey. As a
Okay,
matter of
what?
fact, I don't know what I gave you before. I don't have a lot of subscriptions, but I think Mike mentioned to me, because I couldn't log in, that there was something to do with January of this year, and I have no idea what I used. It could have been a Gmail address.
Okay, if you would just if it's for the Windows SIG newsletter, go to my my website, Hewie.net, and on the front page
Okay.
is where you sign up for the WinSIG newsletter. If it's for this meeting,
Yes.
there is a link in the newsletter that tells you click
Okay.
there, and it'll tell you where you go to register, and just register the new address
Okay.
there.
I
And
didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to send you that text to interrupt what you were doing.
oh no,
I thought
that's
maybe
fine.
you'd see it.
It's
Okay.
something that's important, and I get a lot of those kind of requests, and I don't know where to begin sometimes.
Okay. I understand
So
you have a lot of.
so no.
Mhm.
So I appreciate you reminding me, and because a lot of times, and a lot of places, your email address might be there, but not your name, and I may not know what the old email was to get rid of it. And again, in some of them, I can't delete the old ones.
And expanding that to all user groups and everybody who's on here today, I would guess most everybody who's here today subscribes to at least one newsletter or one news group, if not more. I probably subscribe to 40 or 50.
Oh,
So
wow.
I
Okay.
wouldn't have the slightest idea which newsletter I got to change, which one. I just get the newsletter and say unsubscribe. Now I'll miss it. Oh, well, okay, I'll go subscribe again. And this time I'll put in the email that I want to subscribe it. So I think Huey's recommendation of just put your new one in. If you're getting two, the one you don't want, unsubscribe, and
Okay.
you've done it.
Well, I opened up his webpage, so I'll try to figure it out. Well, I know you've helped me, Mike, to get logged into this, these events the last couple of times that I've been available. So yeah, I just figured I'd try to fix it so you don't have to keep doing that.
No, but thanks for the note about that, because it's something that I needed to talk to people about and have it. Stephen Hall, you have your hand up.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think, Huey, I have a file where I keep track of all of my links, passwords, and so on. But on Meetup, for example, if someone applies to my Meetup, I don't see their email. It keeps both sides invisible, and sometimes they'll try to come back in and they'll say, "I'm not getting the messages," and I said, "Well, what email did you use and what password?" You have to remember. Some people have multiple emails, multiple passwords. Yeah, Meetup doesn't allow the host to even have access to that sort of thing. I mean, you can sort of dismiss a person, but that's easy enough. But if they forget the original email they used to set up their participation, then there's not much the host can do about it. But that's actually not why I have my hand up. I have my hand up because I wonder if anybody else has had the issue with OneDrive. I typically use that to transfer information between computers, but it is ungodly slow. Google Drive is much, much faster. So I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't seem to matter whether it's on my old Windows 10 or a Windows 11 computer. It's just, I can go around the block, have a cup of coffee, and then maybe it'll show up on the other computer, but it just seems really slow. I don't know if anybody else has had that trouble, but yeah.
I have
Any
not,
comments?
and I work with both my own personal one and 3 other OneDrives through our computer club. So I have not seen that issue at all.
Okay.
Not sure what's going on.
Yeah. Well, of course, my Windows 11 is a solid state drive, whereas my old Windows 10 is, the typical analog drive. So yeah, maybe it has something to do with that, but I'm not sure. Okay. Thanks.
Elba, your hand is up.
Just a quick comment about mail managers. Anybody that uses MailChimp, which I do, if somebody unsubscribes, and of course every email that I send out at the bottom there's an unsubscribe button. Anybody that unsubscribes, then they come back and ask me to subscribe them. I'm not able to do that because they don't want, hosts to spam people. And so that's a problem sometimes. People will unsubscribe and then say, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that," or "I want to resubscribe." They can resubscribe themselves, but I can't do it.
That's correct. That's why I have the form on my Hewie.net where they can fill that out and they can subscribe right there. Stephanie, your hand is up.
Yes, I made the mistake of just clicking on letting OneDrive supposedly help me as a duplicate of my Outlook file. However, it turned out that they took everything off of my phone, off of my place, and I need it because it has things like my addresses and stuff like that I don't want to have to go online every time to do things. I wanted it on my stuff. It's pop accounts. And anyway, when they gave it back to me when I asked, but not in a way that I could use it, because they gave us no instructions and they just gave one big file. And then I was using their tech support for the better part of a month, still trying to get things working properly. And they just do not ask you whether or not you want something particular thing put on or put back. And it was just a total disaster.
Yeah, in advance. Now, once that's happened, yes, it sounds like it's a monster to get back. But what you can do with OneDrive, and that's I did it with this machine when I first set it up, is I went into each of the folders that I didn't want to duplicate on OneDrive, and I told it just to have it on the computer and not to include that folder on OneDrive. And you can do that by individual folders or folders or subfolders, uh, or your entire drive probably. But so what I do is and then I've got some folders, for instance, if I'm going to put files, make available some files for you specifically, and uh, and I they're too big to just send. And yeah, there's some programs that I never remember what they are, so I just put it in a folder on my OneDrive called for Stephanie, and then I put it in there, and then share it, get an address, a shareable address, send you that, and then you can click on it. It'll open it up, and you have the ability then to download them to your drive and have them. So that's how I use OneDrive. I don't have everything on OneDrive because I've got 1 terabyte because of the account I have for 365, but I got a 2 terabyte drive, and I think I'm over 1 terabyte already. So I would have filled it up. And so that's one reason I don't like to put everything out there. Mike, your hand is up.
Yeah, can I ask just one quick thing?
Sure.
The I'm sorry, I've forgotten it already. Thank you.
We were talking about OneDrive.
I get 2 copies of the address of this thing, and they both have the same address, and I'm not sure whether I'm on 2 accounts or whether I'm on 1 account. In other words, if
and
I
what's
dig one up, I don't want to miss getting it the next month.
make sure the spelling in both of them are the same. Sometimes somebody will leave off a letter in their name, and they think it's the same address as the other one, and it isn't. It's off by one, but you wouldn't get it then. I don't know.
I think in part, like you said, you've got a whole big thing on how to use OneDrive. By default, let's just take the person that's got a brand new computer. It's got Windows 11 on it, and you initialize it. By default, Microsoft doesn't ask you if you want OneDrive. You've got it.
Yeah.
And by default, you're going to set it up with your Microsoft account, because today, without hacking it, you can't set Windows 11 up without putting in a Microsoft account. So you do that. Now, where the people that I've talked to have a lot of problems is they look in the file manager on the left-hand side, and it's confusing as to where are these files actually located. So in all likelihood, on the left-hand side, it's going to say My OneDrive. And then it's going to have documents and music and photos and videos. And if you do nothing else but open and close or save a document or some music or some photos, by default, until all your space is used up on that OneDrive, it's going to be up and it's going to be in the cloud. Now, OneDrive integrated with Windows 11 and 10 uses a cache on your local hard drive to speed things up, because Stephen was talking about how slow it is. And so some of that information will in fact be on your computer, but as far as the file manager is concerned, it's looking at OneDrive. So now you say, well, I've got this one folder, it's got personal information in it. I don't want it synchronizing with OneDrive all the time. I want it only on my computer. So you've got to actually create a folder on your computer. And when it asks for the location, make sure that it's on your C drive under documents, or it's on, if you got a D partition or something, if you got a different location, somewhere where you say important files, for example, might be the name of the folder. And when you create that, that'll be on your computer. Now, by default, if you go into Word and start typing a new document, Word's going to save that up on OneDrive as long as there's space. But you have decided, no, what I'm putting in this document is very important. It's got to go in my important papers. Now you browse, and on the left-hand side where you're looking at where all your folders are, you find the folder that says My Important Documents, and you select that as where this is going to go, and it will be there. Step 2, if you want to use OneDrive to back up your computer, you can actually right-click on that My Important Papers and add it to those folders that OneDrive will automatically back up from time to time, or not, if you don't want it there or you want it somewhere else. Now, in my case, the computer that I'm sitting at right now is a Linux computer by default, and I don't have Microsoft 365 on it, and I'm not using local copies of Word and PowerPoint and Excel and so on. So by default, nothing goes to OneDrive. But since I have a Microsoft account, I can just open up a browser, go to Microsoft, log into my account, go to my OneDrive, and there it is. Whatever I had from my old Windows computer that was going up there is still there. Now, if I was starting from scratch with a brand new Linux installation, I'd actually have to create that account, which I can do. So there are times when the formatting of LibreOffice Write, for example, doesn't quite match what Microsoft Word does in Word 365. And I'll actually go to my OneDrive and say New Word Document. Now, I haven't got Word installed on my computer, but Microsoft makes a version of Word available to me for free, and a lot of people don't realize that. I'm not paying a dime to use Microsoft Word. I don't have to use any advanced features. I don't have to run macros. I don't have to do all kinds of manipulation. All I want to do is just sit down and type something, and I want it to be in 100% compatible Microsoft Word format, even though LibreOffice's Write more or less is in the same format, but the font might be different or the spacing might be different. And I've noticed that a lot for some of the professional stuff that I get as attachments in my emails. I'll see that there's a difference. So I can actually go to my Microsoft account from Linux or any other computer. And if I'm not paying for 365, I can still use Word because it's attached to my OneDrive account. And I just say New Word Document, and there it is. So something to think about. I mean, we probably could use a whole string of stuff on how to do this on Tech for Senior in bits and pieces, or a future, WinSIG. But it is a capability that's out there. And the point to realize is that by default, new installations of Windows 11 are going to do it. And upgrades from 10 to 11 are probably going to do it too, because you're logged into your Microsoft account. So you just need to be aware of what's going to OneDrive, and what's actually on your computer. And as Stephanie was saying, she's got things with the same name, and it may well be that one of those items is actually up in her OneDrive and the other's locally in documents, and the two have the same name. So now you got to look at the dates and see when they were saved to see which one is the most recent. And if they're both the same date, then it got backed up. And so they are the same. It doesn't matter which one you open because it'll be backing it up. I get off my soapbox.
Not soapbox, it's actually some good points. Peter, I'll be right with you, but what Jolin said, file management is one of the most important activities we can do to help us work efficiently. But we've got over 40 people online right now, And I would say there are over 40 different ways in which we keep track of our files and how we set it up. Every one of us is different.
It starts with understanding how File Manager works and how to
Yes.
go in and change the settings so that you can see the status and see whether that particular document is on your computer or only on OneDrive, things like that. It's really, once you understand how File Manager works, then however you want to organize your files works better.
Yes. Okay, Peter, you have your hand up.
Yes, thanks. This is another question concerning OneDrive. What happens if I uninstall it from one of my computers?
And
That computer won't be sending files to OneDrive anymore, but those files will still be up there.
Well, my objective is to have nothing of mine stored on OneDrive ever.
Then turn it
So-
off. But I don't think you can.
but-
Can you uninstall it?
yes, you
Oh,
can
I found out
uninstall
you
it.
can uninstall it. Much to my surprise, one day I uninstalled it unintentionally from one of my machines.
But be very careful in how you uninstall it. Number one, go ahead and back those files that are on OneDrive to a different folder. You can name it documents. You can say
I don't
documents
want
backup.
excuse me, I don't want there to be any of my files
Right.
on OneDrive ever.
But if there are, and you say, close my OneDrive account, Microsoft's going to warn you. If you close this, you're going to lose access to these files. What you don't realize is it's going to delete them off your local computer too, because it was backing them up. And it's saying, oh, you don't want these anymore. Okay, we'll get rid of it. And that happened to me with a client's computer that he said the same thing to me. I don't want it anymore. Luckily, we had, one of these little small drives with all his stuff backed up. So when we found out it had deleted it off of his computer too, then I had to copy them all back to a local documents folder. So back up, and back up again. And then, delete OneDrive if that's what you want to do.
And is there a way to turn OneDrive off to disable it without deleting it? Maybe one day I will want to use it. I doubt it.
You can turn the backup off. Yes, that's in the settings.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, you can set up OneDrive to just be a cloud storage.
Yeah.
It's the same as Google Drive.
Yeah.
I don't want my stuff on any of those services.
Okay, Bob Farney, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to add a little bit to that. I use Google Drive for quite a while, and all my photos kept uploading to Google Drive. When I decided to get rid of both Gmail accounts, which I haven't completed yet, I went to Google and tried to figure out how to download all those pictures, and I was ultimately successful. So when I install a new version of Windows on a computer, for me, I delete Google Drive and OneDrive. You can always add them back in if you wish, but for the gentleman that just spoke that said he didn't want any files going up on either one of those locations, to me, it was just easier to delete those programs off my computers. That's all I want to mention.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody else? Okay, let's share again. We got a few things that I know we're not going to have time for, but I wanted to share them with you. So we'll go ahead and do that again. Okay, so we can close this. We see how easy that is. And we're going to come back here and here. So we've got a guide to Copilot and a guide to OneDrive. How do I cast my Pixel 10 to Pro XL? That's my Pixel to my Windows 11. I put that there because I had to learn how to do that. And it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, but I've got it working. I'll just open it quickly here. And what I had to do is I used ChatGPT or Perplexity, actually. You can see it here. And because it was a Perplexity page, I couldn't really save it to point to it. So I copy and pasted it and put it in as a blog on my site. So that's what it points to my website. But it tells you how you can do it. And I'm using, I bolded it here. I'm using SCRCPY. And so I connected that, and then steps for wired mirroring. I have to plug in my phone to do it. But when I do, let me just show you very quickly. Set up screensaver. No, not no. And okay, so I'm there. So I am going to minimize this. And I have that scrappy, I guess, or SCR cpy.exe, and you'll see what it does. Let me minimize this so it's just not in the way. And when I click on it, you'll see that it runs some kind of a script.
I think I saw an error message.
Yeah, I had to click on something on my phone. So we'll do it again. And there it is.
Nice.
So that's my phone. Nice and easy. I can open up anything. I'm not going to open up YouTube because who knows what, or my email, but I open up my photos. New ways to create. No, thanks. Create now. No. Okay. So I can, I can go look at my pictures out on Google Photos, and I closed it. So you saw how easy that was to just bring it up.
Can you
And
do your text messages on that too? Using the keyboard on the computer?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me go ahead. Let's see. I'm not sharing. So did I share? Was I sharing?
you
Did
were
see my
sharing.
screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I must have stopped the share then. Okay. We got sharing here, and I'm going to move.
Scrappy.
I got something in the way here. Move that out. And I have my phone here, the phone link.
Oh,
So I
that's
can
phone
look.
link. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
phone link. I
curious
can.
if Scrappy let you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
No,
I've
I
got
don't
phone
know.
link also.
Yeah, but I got phone link working with my Pixel as well. The only thing it doesn't do is what was it? It won't put it out on the screen like my Samsung would, and so that's why I had to use that SCR CPY. And so that's out there. So if you want to, those of you who have Pixels want to try that, you can. It was very easy to set up. You just have to remember, and the second time I went to use it, I couldn't make it work, and I was all frustrated. I said, "What do I have to do? Uninstall, install it." I forgot that I have to wire connect it. I have to plug it in to my computer to the phone to make it work. So,
So Huey, would you assume that it would work with a Samsung phone too?
Samsung phones do it differently, and with Samsung, if you use your phone, the built-in Microsoft program, I was able to put it out on the screen very easily with my Samsung, and it does it all within that program. So I didn't need a separate program to
Okay.
put it on the screen. And by doing that, I'm doing a video. I did a video for tomorrow's Tech for Senior, and I'm showing something on my Pixel, and I was able to have it on my screen, so I was able to record it on my computer and then make it part of the video that I did.
Nice. Okay.
I
Thanks.
cast. Okay. 5 ways to offload CPU tasks. Fairly, I'm not going to get into that. We're out of time. PC cleaners are a scam. And I nearly got sued for saying it. So if you're using PC cleaners, let me go ahead and let's see, F9. Come on. I'm not sure why it's not making it bigger, but your PC isn't dirty, but you use cleaners, and some of the cleaners are CCleaner and others. And this article kind of explains why you might use them, but why you might not want to. So that's a good article for you. And then the final article is 11 essential Chrome extensions I always install on a new PC. You know, we probably ought to either one of these programs or somewhere along the line, I probably ought to have everybody write down their favorite plugin or extension that they use in either Chrome or Edge and share them, because we all have some that are a little bit different and that some of us would really like to know about, that would really be helpful. So that might be an idea if you're in a user group to do that for one of your meetings. Bill Crow, are you still on there? No, I
The
don't see you.
Ottawa group already did that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Everything came out #1.
Yeah. Well, yeah, everything really isn't an extension.
Followed
Is there any?
second by free file sync.
Yeah. And again, that's not an extension either. It's a separate program.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about extensions to John, I bet you have a few that you love and people just might not know about. And that's something I'd like to do. I'm not sure we could really do it for a Tech for Senior program, but we might.
We can do
I
it
might.
as
That'd be fun to do.
I might.
or Stug.
Yeah, a Stug meeting too.
Yeah, I already put in the chat Grammarly. I don't write without Grammarly.
Yeah.
But
Okay, folks.
I have a dozen others, so we can talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got a bunch too that every once in a while I'll use one and some say, "What's that?" and where is it and how do I use it? So, yeah, there's some good tools out there. There's some junk too. So, okay. This has been, and let me bring up my. Let's see. Share screen. Whoops. This has been the Central Florida Computer Society and the Sarasota Technology User Group WinSIG for Sunday, October 12th, 2025. I'm Hewie Poplock. We had a good crowd. We had some good discussions today, and the recording will be available on my YouTube channel, and it will also be on Hewie.net, so you can take a look at it there and watch it from there on YouTube.